tutti ragazzi e bentornati a un nuovo episodio di The End of Glory. Dunque l'ultima volta stavamo cercando gli ingredienti. Abbiamo trovato più o meno il macinato esotico che se ci penso vomito l'anima. Allora, l'uova di gallina sappiamo dov'è ma non sappiamo come prenderla. Poi abbiamo il vino, sì, il parmigiano, sì, zenzero della Florida, non ne ho idea. E sale fresco. Sale fresco, ho letto, sale e pepe, sto rincoglionita. Dunque, dobbiamo vedere se possiamo legare con la catena dove sta la gallina per fregargli l'uovo, perché sennò, boh, non ne ho idea. Proviamo a vedere se funziona. Allora, catena con sportello. Lo so, è vero. Sì, non voglio... Allora, questo chiudilo. No. La molla difettava. Non possiamo aggiustare la molla in qualche modo. Attaccapanni, l'abbiamo usato per prendere i parmigiani. Incolliamo tutto col balsamo. Con coso magnetico. E allora va a cagare. Con il lucchetto nello sportello. Oh, che bello, sì. E dai, pure l'uovo. E mo manca lo zenzero. Allora, dunque, zenzero della Florida. Appunto, quello non ne ho veramente idea. Allora, proviamo a parlare con qualcuno. Rimanga nei paraggi. Vediamo se qua la tipa magari è una brava cuoca. No. Però possiamo provare a vedere se invece la stagista, che a quanto pare sa tutto, se per caso lei sa questa cosa. Allora, quartier generale. Te non mi dici altro, giusto? No. Ok. Allora, proviamo con lei, Alice.
Hi, Lars.
Mi serve una ricerca al volo. Dai, dimmi di sì.
Do you need information on Eric Molsberg? Or maybe his daughter?
No.
Much better than that. I need to know what
Esatto.
Florida ginger looks like to prepare some meatballs.
Your investigative methods are even more bizarre than I thought.
I never back down from even the most absurd challenge.
Give me a second. Here you are. You should look for a little plant with wide leaves and red flowers. They look like small artichokes if you examine them closely.
Ma più o meno.
Little plant, red leaves shaped like artichokes. Got it.
If you want to obtain its spice, you'll have to gently extract the root.
Excellent. You just saved me half a day of investigation.
Grande Alice. Detective nuova scuola. Mo dove troviamo sta piantina però? Non le ho proprio viste nel gioco, sto tipo di piante. Magari nell'ufficio di questo, non credo.
I'm a badge now.
Vediamo un attimo. Miami. Non credo da qui vedere le piantine. No. Possiamo riandare da quello? No, vabbè. Allora, dunque, la piantina adesso dove la possiamo trovare? Vediamo un po' se il ragazzino sa qualcosa. Ah, ma si può andare qui? Non era rotto qua, o mi sbaglio? No. Era rotto qua, può essere. Sono rincoglionita io sicuro. Di qua non credo. giornalaio non
I had
credo.
nothing else to say.
No. Dunque, vediamo. Allora, proviamo a riandare nella zona quella nuova. Qui a lungomare.
Nothing. Still no trace of that phantom
Eccoli.
sky. Roger.
Eccola, mica me la ricordavo.
Judging by the description I had, that surely had to be the
Sì,
foreign
così abbiamo
ginger.
completato la ricetta, dai.
Delicately, I extracted the root. By grating it, I'd be able to obtain the spice I needed.
Ottimo.
I'd collected all the necessary ingredients for my brief excursion into the culinary world. Now, I could start the actual preparation. My sous chef table was waiting for me.
Ok, andiamo a cucinare allora. Cioè, cucinare, a fare quello schifo. Coral Gables. E dove possiamo cucinare? Postazione da cucina.
Let's do that. And now, salt and pepper. Now, I just have to follow the recipe step by step.
Allora, posizionare la carne macinata finemente in una padella. Quindi, la padella. Non ce l'ho. Sto schifo qua. Ah,
First of
quella è la
all,
padella.
the meat had to be minced.
Ah, la padella. Sì, la padella. La carne andava macinata.
I'd be starting my culinary career by mincing meat for
Che
dogs.
schifo.
I put the meat back in the can, ready to be used. I must admit that it emitted an inviting
Tu sei
aroma.
malato. Qua.
The meat was ready to be prepared.
Ma ne è poca poi. Una spolverata di parmigiano. Ok. Quindi parmigiano,
The
gratta.
grater was ideal for, well, grating.
Ok.
Let's start with seasoning.
Che spreco di parmigiano. Un uovo enorme.
I hope to crack open the egg without breaking it. I've always been really bad in the kitchen.
Ok. Un pizzico di sale e pepe. Tiè.
At that point, I turned the griddle on to start cooking.
Ok. Iniziare la cottura quindi in ordini. Irrorare il tutto col vino bianco. Aggiungere lo zenzero. Ok. Vai di vino. E infine zenzero.
I'd extract the spice from the root using that grater. And now, the final touch. Finally, after a half day of unpaid hard work, our incredible Chef Lazarus had completed his little culinary
Proprio un'opera
masterpiece.
d'arte.
Now that I think about it, it still seems crazy to interrupt an investigation just to make some meatballs. But part of the reason I'm famous is because I never back down from a challenge. Yeah, not bad for a beginner.
Allora Ciccio, tiè, mangiate sto schifo, vendi sto schifo,
Here's your
da
meatballs,
fare.
Chef. I'd give it up whole, damn. And you took only half the day to prepare them. Maybe I underestimated you, lightweight. Let's see what you did. Hell, it's formidable.
Immaginavo.
Passable, that is.
Bleh.
I told you there was a real cook hiding deep inside me. I just had to spread my wings and fly. Can I take a heart now?
Suit yourself. I'll see you at 8 o'clock tonight. And be on time.
Like a Swiss watch.
Immagino. Il detective chef.
I had finished in there, and I'd probably never touch another stove again in my life.
Allora abbiamo preso sto cuore, finalmente.
Lazarus Bundy!
Mazza, io credeva che non gli aveva fatto dire.
Now, I could finally leave.
Dunque, abbiamo fatto, finalmente, non ci posso credere. Quindi abbiamo il cuore.
I never had to poke something like this in my pocket, and I certainly hope that was the last time.
Ok. Quindi possiamo andare a fare spaventare la diva. Villa Mulzberg. Quindi sali. Qui.
With what I had with me, I was sure I could scare Lupe to death. I held my breath. Don't look down, Lars. Don't look down.
Allora, qui l'uccellino chi se ne frega. Qui chi se ne frega.
It was
Domestica.
time to terrorize that poor woman beyond all limits.
My God, who's there?
You know who I am, woman.
Archbishop Molina?
As God be my witness, verily it is me. My imitation of medieval language is pitiful, but I never bother taking a course.
But por qué you have come to me?
My beauty beckoned me back to this vivid land, and to its call I shan't resist.
But you are a ghost, and yo soy alive.
Ooh, we can
Beh, non è carino.
remedy that, can't we? She was totally spooked.
Ok, tieni.
If the
Sacchete.
words had opened a crack, the bloody heart would kick the door down.
Poraccia. Comunque tutto sta casino entra qua dentro. C'è il quadro della figlia.
The woman took off like a race car at the green light. Well, at that point I had to find something. I had to find it fast before she could call for help.
Allora, il quadro della figlia non ci frega, la scrivania.
Eric Molsberg wanted to keep me out of his room at all costs, so it had to be hiding something.
E sono
I sensed
d'accordo.
immediately, thanks to that irrational sixth sense that always assisted me at crime scenes, that something was hidden in that desk.
E sono d'accordo pure su questo. Spina elettrica. Accendi la luce. Libri.
Books on oil drilling. Literature. Books on oil drilling.
Allora, cassetto questo. No. Cassetto questo. A meno che vadano aperti in un ordine preciso. Potrebbe essere anche questa cosa, perché mi sembrano tutti vuoti. Ah, incisione non l'ho vista. 1 1 1 2 2 3 3 3. Fa delle note? Allora, devo fare la classica foto perché ovviamente io non mi ricorderò mai.
But every row of drawers was marked by a musical key and a series of Roman numerals. I remembered seeing the sheet music previously on Catherine's piano. What if the musical references
Può essere,
connected
può
somehow?
essere. Allora, intanto io comunque la foto gliel'ho fatta, così per dopo siamo pronti. Scopa la possiamo prendere.
I had to brush away my doubts, not the floor.
Ok.
Soapy
Secchio.
water in a bucket. Oh, the smell it exuded made me cry.
La Madonna, che ci ha messo dentro? Cassapanca.
Nothing interesting in there.
Ok. Letto.
The bed was made and it didn't seem to hide anything peculiar. There wasn't anything under there, not even dust.
Va bene.
Cleanliness of that house was unnerving.
Laurea.
House owner's educational qualifications. Too specialized to be fond of him.
Libreria.
They were mainly books on shipyard management, the economy, the oil market. They're
Vabbè, libri noiosi. Quindi questi qui no. Allora, vediamo un attimo lo spartito.
The engraving I found on Molsberg's desk contained a musical reference that seemed to match those on the sheet music. I realized that the two clues were connected. The sheet music was the key that would let me unravel the secrets hidden in that desk. I remembered Molsberg's words when he confessed to me that he knew nothing about music. Thankfully, because I was a disaster too, the sheet music, therefore, had to conceal a code not strictly connected to music. The musical notes must have to be interpreted another way.
Mo va a trovare l'other way però. Allegro aperto. Allora, questo è questo. E manca questo. Questo è questo. Questo è questo. Quindi forse l'ordine. Prima questo, poi questo, poi questo. Quindi prima questo, poi la chiave di sol è questa. Allora. Sì, perché non c'entra neanche il numero delle note. Quindi prima questo, chiave di sol e l'altro. Allora, se facciamo prima quello dovrebbe essere così, così. Poi la chiave di sol. Così, 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 però sono entrambe tre, quindi boh. Così, così, così. No, c'è qualcosa che non va. No, dai, non me li richiudi davvero. Quanta amarezza. Allora, 3 1 3. Tre. 2 2. Due, due. Due, due, ce ne stanno due così. Qua ce ne stanno tre. E qua ce ne sta una. Potrebbe essere 2, 2, 3, 1. Ah.
I knew that desk was hiding something.
Allora ragazzi, devo dire che questa volta ho barato perché non ne avevo idea e anche barando non ho capito perché. Cioè, se voi capite come mai dovevo fare in quest'ordine, fatemi sapere perché sono molto curiosa. Onestamente non l'ho capito, non ci sono arrivata. Dunque, andiamo avanti. Scomparto segreto.
Shaking with emotion, I grabbed the folder. I was prepared for anything, but what I found on that paper left me speechless.
Oh oh.
What do you think you're doing in my room? Who let you enter?
Normally, I'd have a pair of sarcastic answers for you, but right now, I've completely lost my sense of humor. How do you explain this?
You. This is an abuse of power. First, someone leaves the phone receiver off, costing me a $10 million deal, and now this? You snuck in here and rummaged through my private documents.
$10 million, baby.
You keep on dodging the questions that really matter, Mr. I have a broken heart. Please bring my daughter back. Your daughter was pregnant, and you knew that. And on top of that, you concealed the documents that proved it. I don't know if it's clear enough, but this makes you the prime suspect on my list.
Beh,
Who's
chissà
the
come
father?
mai.
The guy in the picture I showed you? Answer me, goddammit.
Enough! Leave this residence immediately and never come back. and I assure you, you'll be hearing from me very soon.
I could say the same thing.
Sto
So young Catherine was
stronzo.
pregnant at the time of the kidnapping. Was it possible that was the motive? And what was her father's role in the whole story? Had he hidden the medical records to preserve his daughter's dignity? Or to hide a motive that would have been a red flag for the authorities? Night had fallen by then. Initially, I thought of going straight to bed and falling asleep. Then, I was suddenly struck by a brilliant idea.
Il bowling.
We're switching over to local news now, where we direct your attention to a curious case that happened today in West Miami. The well-known chef Tony was arrested after many clients in his restaurant began showing worrying physical symptoms. The police report has identified the cause of the patron's collective discomfort as some meatballs, apparently prepared using
Che
dog
schifo.
meat. The chef defended himself, claiming he had given instructions for the making of the dish to an elusive sous chef, of whom no traces can now be found. What can we say? If it's a pet-friendly local establishment you're looking for, Tony's restaurant could really be your thing.
Che figo il bowling.
Yeah, absolute number one, intern.
Isn't that because you're playing against yourself, Mr. Number One?
If someone had tried socializing rather than carrying around her job, we would not still be here arguing about it. So at the current state of things, I am the undisputed number one, and that's that.
In the meantime, your someone might have found something by analyzing the picture that was slipped under your door. I couldn't find any information on the man in the company of Catherine Molesberg, but the logo visible on the building gave me a lead to follow. It's a decommissioned factory belonging to a company called Fallen Rose, for which I've written the address down. Unfortunately, there was no way to...
Yes, all right. It's all very compelling. But we'll think about the factory tomorrow. Now put down that infernal device and let me see what you've got.
You really had it coming, small-time detective. What do you think about that?
That was beginner's luck.
And this?
That was clearly a foul. I found a surprise waiting for me.
E questo chi è mo?
I was just looking for you.
Am I late with the rent?
The rent is the least of your problems right now. There are people, Mr. Bundy, who find your investigation really bothersome.
L'Amanda Mulzberg, non è vero? Non sono tenuta a subire i suoi avvertimenti fasulli. Sto ascoltando. Non parlo con gli sconosciuti. Sto ascoltando, vediamo che dice.
And maybe there will be no unpleasant consequences. Many influential forces are at work in this story, Mr. Bundy.
Sta parlando di Mulzberg e lui che la manda? Di quali forze sta parlando precisamente? Ingoierò la pillola. Cosa vogliono da me queste forze in gioco? Questo.
Take the bait. What do these forces at work want from me?
That you don't try to push beyond your capabilities. That you accept your place as an insignificant exile and spend the rest of your life in the shadows. You have a choice to make, Bundy. Choose wisely.
D'accordo, rinuncia al caso. Ho lavorato sodo per arrivare a questo punto. Chi te se
I
caga?
worked very hard to get to this point. I can't quit the case. Catherine's life is at stake.
A praiseworthy and daring choice, but wrong.
Wait!
Oh cazzo. Ma si può morire a sto gioco? Ma che ne so? Vabbè, sto ascoltando.
Many
Ingoierò la pillola.
that you accept. You have a choice.
D'accordo, rinuncia al
Okay,
caso.
I quit the case. Really, it's not a matter that concerns me. I'm sorry for the girl, but in the end, these things happen. The important thing is that they don't happen to yourself.
You just made the best choice.
Tanto
of
ti
your
dico
life.
così e poi faccio come mi pare, no? Ciao ciao.
Oh, Bundy. Just some advice. Let this be our last meeting.
The guy had been clear and explicit. I could be sure that if I didn't comply with his demand for answers,
Sì, l'abbiamo
he'd
visto.
kill me without giving it a second thought. My rational sides urged me to really let it go. Goodbye case, goodbye challenge, goodbye unsolved mysteries, and goodbye Catherine. But no, I couldn't leave that girl to her destiny. Her father did something horrible to her. He had hidden the truth from the world, maybe even going so far as having his own flesh and blood kidnapped or even killed. No way I'll give up. I am up against the wall.
Spalle al muro. «14 novembre, appartamento di Lars».
Things just get better and better. I've fallen asleep with my clothes on. That visit the previous night had shaken me more than I wanted to admit. Well, that must be Alice. Door's open. Come in. Hey, intern. Welcome.
Hello, Lars. Do you always leave the door open?
Yeah, of course. So the delivery boy can leave me the harbinger at the door and I can do this? Hey, Alice, look at that.
Did they finally find Ramos?
Much better. Today, the harbinger is giving out firecrackers to celebrate the 50-year anniversary of the opening of the newspaper.
You get excited over very little sometimes.
But it's a pop-up. One of those kinds that explodes if you throw it on the ground. So cool.
I was expecting different furnishings. You look more like a guy with a toilet in the bedroom.
Everything was more or less already like this when I got here. Hey, what do you mean by I look more like a guy? Well, at this point, I'd say it's best to leave behind the beating I gave you last night and focus on the job.
Are you talking about when the ball slipped and landed on my foot? Or when you
Madonna,
elbowed
che
me in
male.
the stomach making your Lars swing?
Well, I did get a strike, right?
Yes, in another alley.
Mazza, manco io gioco così male a bowling.
Try to make yourself at home.
As I was trying to tell you yesterday evening, I couldn't trace any information about the man in Catherine's company. Which is quite strange, considering that I have total access to all the government databases in the world.
But this can be explained in perfectly legal ways, and in any case, it doesn't help us with the investigation.
On the other hand, I found some information about the symbol appearing in the background, which identifies a company called Fallen Rose.
Huh. It doesn't sound familiar. What is it?
The company itself did business in many sectors, but the Miami headquarters specialized in building materials. From the archives, I couldn't find anything suspicious. All above board until they declared bankruptcy last year. But here's the kicker. Although the company is supposedly bankrupt, I found signs of recent activity by analyzing surveillance camera footage in the neighborhood.
So, they're still there. Maybe I could. Alice, I need access to that factory, this very day.
It could be risky, but I certainly won't stop you. I feel this case could really push my career years ahead. And by the way, my zealous detective, I think it's time you tell me everything you know about the case we're investigating.
All right. At this point, I can't deny you deserve it. Okay, let's start from the beginning. That is to say, the night I tracked down Ramos. This is, in broad terms, what pushed me to investigate the Molesberg case.
I'm still not totally clear on the relevance of the
No,
porn
infatti.
magazine.
Oh, that? Wait, I can explain that in more detail.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, it's really absurd. How did you manage to get yourself involved in a case like this?
This could be my big chance at redemption, Alice. I'm not ready to surrender yet.
I get it, but now I better get back to the office. I really can't afford to be late.
I'll leave with you then. I expect this will be a very emotional day.
Well, see you later then.
Alice's contribution was crucial, giving me another lead to follow. An abandoned factory belonged to the Fallen Rose. I figured I should also swing by Nancy's. Maybe I would be able to talk to the mysterious homeless guy, Roger. Come to think of it, this was the day I was also supposed to have my interview with that leech Gwendolyn Pratt. I had serious doubts about what to do. Maybe it would be better to go back to Ramos's house to face that shrew.
Ok, abbiamo sbloccato nuove zone. Quindi direi prima di tutto di andare a vedere se c'è il barbone. Eccolo. Roger.
You are Roger the Tramp, aren't you?
Firstly, the term tramp is now considered inconsiderate, and the preferred nomenclature is homeless person or transient. Secondly, it is very rude to address a stranger by name without introducing oneself first.
I beg your pardon, but I didn't realize I was in the presence of the Baron of Sussex.
Do not be absurd, boy. I'm not the Baron of Sussex. I'm Duke Roger Emerith Ravendish III from Derbyshire.
Yet you live on a bench and you have a torn shoe.
I also rummaged through the refuse, to be completely honest.
This guy was a real madman. Well, Duke Ravendish, may I ask you a few questions?
I am at your disposal, at least for the present moment.
Dunque, è così lei sarebbe un nobile vero e proprio. Ricorda dove si trovava 2 sere fa? Non lasci il paese, Duca Ravendish.
Do you remember where you were 2 nights ago?
At Chef Tony's, a modest 5-star restaurant located in the West Miami district.
You answered with extraordinary promptness.
I stick to my weekly schedule precisely. It's a carryover from my old life.
I see. Do you remember if you saw or heard anything strange?
Might you be a detective, young man?
Of course I am. Do you want to see my badge?
Your poor attempt at dressing like Sir Arthur Ignatius Conan Doyle's character is enough for me.
What's your point?
If you are a detective, it means that you are a representative of the authorities, or at least you are in contact with them. Ergo, you can help me save my camerops humilis.
Your what?
My dwarf palm. My shelter from the warm, sultry summer days in Miami. I have spent my afternoons basking in the shade of its leaves for years, and now it is at risk.
Explain.
Recent studies have revealed the presence of the red blatodia on these picturesque beaches, a disturbing and voracious insect that can prove lethal to these plants. My palm was judged to be sick, which was clearly a rush evaluation. Just a glance will suffice to see that it is in perfect health.
I think I understand what you're getting at, but I have to point out that someone could consider this an attempt at bribery.
I am not offering goods in exchange for a service. Any assistance would simply bring peace to my disturbed mind and therefore encourage me to remember.
That man was used to these kinds of negotiations. He sure knew how to bargain. All right, let's see what I can do for your palm tree.
Make that red mark disappear, and then you may ask what you will.
Quindi se gli chiedessi di ricordare la serie di cui abbiamo parlato, vabbè, che sia un vero nobile, onestamente sti cazzi, no?
I would be reviled for doing so.
Ok, quindi la pianta. La palma nana. Non abbiamo un solvente. Pop pop. Un balsamo non credo. Col pennarello.
Making the mark darker wouldn't have deceived the pest control workers. That mark had to disappear if I wanted to obtain
No, ci vuole
Roger's
per
help.
forza un solvente, una cosa simile. Io comunque lo provo, anche se non è.
Better think about it.
Ok. Quindi dobbiamo trovarlo adesso. Vabbè, qui possiamo fare altro. Nancy non ci va, a posto, andiamosene. Quindi qua abbiamo fatto casa Davis Ramos. Andiamo a vedere qua, devo parlare con quella.
Look at that, Jimby. The brave Lazarus Bundy has really come to see us.
Ma era obbligatorio venire da sta cretina.
I can't believe I'm actually here.
Infatti.
There, no reason to be upset. I can assure you you've made the best decision of your career.
I'll content myself with the assurance that you won't smear me out of turn.
All right, so I'd say we've got everything we need to start rolling. Jimby, you can start recording.
Whoa, wait a second. Just like that, out of the blue, without preparing the questions a bit?
This is Gwendolyn Pratt reporting from the house of the serial killer Blowtorch, aka David Ramos. We have with us the detective in charge of the case, Lazarus Bundy. Good evening, Mr. Bundy.
Good evening.
Let's get straight to the point. Last night you were involved in a struggle with the dangerous individual who, we mustn't forget, is on the run. How would you describe this experience to our viewers?
Però non è la scorsa notte, mi sa passato un po', no? Perché mi sa avevamo dormito più notti, o mi sbaglio? Comunque, sapete come si dice, no? Più sono grossi, più fanno un rumore quando cadono. Ho avuto casi più semplici, onestamente ci sono dei momenti in cui ho rischiato di farmela sotto. Ho avuto casi più
I've had
semplici.
simpler cases. I mean, cases in which I didn't almost end up getting choked by a Neanderthal.
And here we see the human side of law enforcement, ladies and gentlemen. Who would have thought that behind this fearless appearance,
Un
such a
cuoricino
fragile heart
fragile.
was hidden?
Fragile heart?
Where do you think Ramos is hiding right now?
Se è più sveglio di quanto sembra, avrà già lasciato la città a grande velocità. Temo che il pazzoide ce l'abbia con me, quindi penso sia ancora in città. Spero lontano. Non ne ho idea. Avrà lasciato la città? Famo questo.
If he's smarter than he seems, he'd have already left the city at high speed. Last night, I was just warming up with him. I can't wait to start the next round.
This makes me, and I'm sure all our viewers, feel safe. Let's cut to the chase, detective. How do you answer the accusations that you purposely let Blowtorch escape just to have someone to hunt down to keep your already at risk job?
Already a risk job? What are you talking about, you ugly witch?
It's no secret that you've just been fired, detective. Or I should say, ex-detective.
I wasn't covering up anything. I was fired specifically because...
Facts tell another story, Bundy. It seems you've been in difficult waters lately. That your alleged detective skills have been, how can I say it, deteriorated for quite a few months now. My understanding is that you haven't successfully closed a case for at least 6 months, ex-detective. How do you answer to this real data?
Enough, Pratt. I knew I was making a mistake coming here, but your lowness knows no bounds.
One more question, Bundy. Have you given any thought to your immediate future? I doubt that anyone will offer you work after what you... As you wish. I'm Gwendolyn Pratt. Back to you in the newsroom.
Che stronzo.
I told you, Bundy. The important thing is not for the audience to have the absolute truth, just a plausible one. Have a good day.
Go to hell.
Boh, che ci siamo venuti a fare qua? Non ho capito.
I knew it was a bad idea to challenge Gwendolyn Pratt, the Queen of Mud. And so my decline in those previous months had become a matter of public domain. Anyway, who cared? My crisis had been leaked, yes, but not the real reason behind it. They could speculate, but the real truth was mine alone.
Boh, vabbè, però dice lo dovevamo fare. Allora, fabbrica abbandonata, andiamo.
And this would be an abandoned factory? I'd underestimated the size of the matter. That building was huge, and I'd lose an entire day trying to inspect it completely. Plus, the place was being watched. I had to find a way to access it without being noticed by the guard.
Allora.
Hello.
Madonna, è enorme.
Did you by any chance come from the future to stop android domination?
I don't understand what you're saying, mate. Who are you?
I am... Maybe it was best to use a fake name, given the circumstances.
Clint Stallone.
Like the
Clint
cartoon
Eastwood?
they show every Thursday night. I like it a lot. Especially when Clint kicks the bad guy's ass. I am Eugene, mate.
Meeting you is a huge pleasure, in all possible respects.
Allora, cosa fai qui tutto solo? Ho da fare cose più importanti che stare qui a correggerti la grammatica.
So, what are you doing here all alone?
I'm guarding the fort. Uh-huh. Mama says it's the job of responsibility.
Responsibility.
Exactly. Responsibility. Mama said if someone we don't like or is not our friend shows up and tries to enter,
You kick them out.
I break his back and throw him down the drain in the square.
Delicato.
Every time this happens, Mama makes big laughs and buys me a bag of chips.
The innocence with which he confessed the atrocity left me without words. This Eugene was oblivious about being so dangerous.
Ti ho sentito nominare una certa mamma.
I heard you mention a certain mama.
Mama Cecily. She gets angry when people call her Mama. She says it makes her feel old.
Is she your mother?
No, but she took me from the orphanscape and found this job for me.
orphanage, Eugene.
Yes, Scorpionage.
And what's her line of work?
She tried to explain it, but I didn't understand. She says she loves working with other people's money.
Loan shark. They're criminals of the worst kind. And is she here now?
No, she comes later. First, she goes to find her girls.
Pure
to see if
pappona.
they're okay.
Better and better. She must be a barrel of laughs.
Imagine that once, when she was young, she took gas and matches and set fire to her school.
Una bella persona.
Boom! The owner says it's because of that funny story that he gave this job to Mama.
E così questa è una zona d'accesso limitato.
So, this is a restricted area.
I don't know that word.
I mean, only certain people can enter here.
It's true. It works like that. Only those who are nice to Mama can enter. And that's just me, the owner, and the guy driving the truck. Ah, no. I broke the back of him last Thursday.
You really know how to have fun around here. What do you think about giving me a sightseeing tour around the factory?
Like when you're in those places with a guy talking weird. I never understand what they say, those guys, but I like them.
Let's play a game. I am a Japanese tourist, and you're the nice guy talking weird. The game is not started yet, Eugene.
I don't know, Stallone. I'd really like to, but Mama would kill me.
I had to persist with Eugene.
Bisogna convincerlo. A proposito del proprietario della
Well, the
fabbrica.
owner, he runs the place, does he?
Yes, he's responsible.
Responsible, Eugene. Can you describe him?
I'm not good at doing identity descriptions. He's not funny, though. Mama says he scares she, too.
Her, Eugene. Is this him, by any chance?
Yes, that's Redwag. Why do you got his photo?
Ah, well, he and I are old friends. I'd really like to enter and visit him.
Now he's out, but you can wait for him outside with me.
What a shame. I wanted to surprise him.
And jump out from a corner screaming boo? I'd really like to, but Mama would kill me.
At least now I knew the name of the mysterious character in the photo. Radwed.
Supponiamo che convincessi questa mamma a farmi
Let's
entrare.
suppose I managed to convince this mama to let me enter.
Yes?
Where would I find Radwed's office? This place looks huge.
I can't talk about this stuff with strangers. Last time I disobeyed, Mama punished me. Oh. She took away Bert, and the same night she made me found his severed head on the bed.
Good lord. Was it your dog?
My stuffed panda.
Well, it must have been a painful loss for you, nonetheless.
You can say that again, Stallone.
Getting back to us, are you sure you can't tell me anything? After all, nobody will ever know.
No, and again, no. I already suffered too much.
That information was useful. Even if I managed to enter the factory, I'd risk being seen roaming around without more detailed directions. I needed Eugene, so I had to deceive him somehow.
E così volevi molto bene al trossetto di,
So,
di pezza.
you really loved your teddy bear.
A panda. It was a panda.
Ok, ho da fare cose più importanti che stare qui a correggerti la grammatica.
Bye, Stallone.
Quindi forse dobbiamo trovare questo pupazzetto a forma di panda. Così almeno poi ci dice dove sta l'ufficio di quello. Va bene ragazzi, dai, per oggi ci fermiamo qui e niente, come sempre mettete un mi piace, lasciate un commento e iscrivetevi al canale e vi aspetto al prossimo episodio. Alla prossima, ciao ciao!